okay, I've got my site, it's got information, it might be that electronic brochure when we talked about, what are really the top 5 components, or what do I need to do for a solid SEO overhaul of my site to really make a difference in where I show up and how I get the results from the internet?
Well, it's changing every day, but there's a couple of myths out there. Number one, there was a lot of discussion even 2 years ago and as recently as 12 months ago about buying links, paying companies to link back to your website.
The whole Wikipedia thing, and
exactly.
They won't even count now on Google, right?
They really don't. Google looks down on that. Yahoo looks down on that. They're very, very critical of companies that buy web traffic by basically paying companies to link back to their website. The other thing that's kind of a myth out there is writing a lot of content that's heavily overloaded with keywords. Really, less than 7% of your content should really have any keywords in that related to the search terms. We call that keyword density. But the first thing that I would look at as an organization is the domain name. How are your domain names structured relative to the keyword searches that you're looking at driving traffic to your website?
So I'm overhauling my website. You mean I should get additional URLs that redirect to my certain pages on my website?
One of the best ways to attack search engine optimization right now and improve your searchability is to go out and acquire domain names related to the search terms that you're trying to optimize for. Used to be frowned upon by the search engines, but now it's becoming more of a best practice, and there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of domain names out there, and you should go out there and seek out those domains at a very inexpensive cost and point those domains using an SEO best practice process to your website. That's the first thing I would encourage a company to do, especially if you're doing e-commerce and you're selling products over the web.
You touched on something again, and we said, we said myths. We talked about linking and purchasing links and doing that. But linking is still an important part of your rank and where you show up, right?
It is. It's an important part, but the key is organic linking. Maybe it's linking to PR releases on your website. Maybe it's linking to video content on your website. Maybe it's large manufacturers or clients or universities that are linking to your website. The key is, does the company that's linking to your website rank high with the search engines? The search engines don't like sites called link farms, which are essentially just a collection of web links. Does the site that you're linking to or linking back to have a legitimate search ranking and ranks high with the search engines?
There's a relevant content component to that too, right?
That's true.
If that site's got relevant content to what your keywords and what you've got done on your side.
That's correct. And that's another, in terms of the top 5 things a company can be doing, is take a look at your content. I mean, secondly, you really want to make sure that the content on your website is closely tied to the keyword or key phrases that people are looking for when they search for your services or products. Many companies write content that is not written from a user perspective and not thinking about somebody who's searching for that content on the web. And as I mentioned earlier, you want to have about 7% of the written content on your page containing the keywords that are specific to that phrase that people would be looking for. Third, there's some real basic things you can do with your website. Does your company address and phone number appear in the footer or somewhere on the page of all the pages on your website? That's a big mistake a lot of companies overlook. The search engines query that. They look for that as a way to identify the site's geographic relevance to my search. Another thing that's very important is to submit your site to search engines. You can submit your site to Google and Yahoo and MSN for free. And don't assume that the search engines are basically going in and indexing the pages on your website. In other words, they're going through on a daily basis, crawling your site and flagging your site for content relative to keyword searches. You have to submit your website address and your site to the search engines. There's no cost for it, and tell them, hey, I'm out here, look at my website, I have content relevant to what people are looking for. The other thing that's really gaining a lot of momentum and steam is what we call social media or Web 2.0. The importance of blogs, podcasts, videos, optimizing news releases.
Kind of what we're doing right here.
Kind of what we're doing right here. Viral
cool.
What we call viral content that gets passed around the web, and essentially every time it gets passed from one person to the other, it's a vote for your site.
So every customer, every client, every person can have a different strategy when it comes to what's best for them and what they're trying to accomplish with their business, for their search engine or their web strategy.
Correct.
Really, there's not a roadmap that everybody can plug into that gets them all to the same destination. There's components of each one that are the same, but it's still different each and every time.
Well, as we wrap up our doctor's appointment, Jim, I want to say one other thing in closing that I can't emphasize enough to all the companies that are out there looking at this video, and that is search engine marketing and search engine optimization has to be a key part of your overall marketing strategy. It can be the cornerstone of your strategy, especially if you're selling services and products over the web. The biggest thing for you to remember is that when consumers start their search on the internet for your products or services, are they finding you? Because the competition's out there, and if you're not there, you're losing money.
On to the next segment of our video newsletter here, what I'm calling the marketing moment. Our tip of the month, if you will. Every client that we've been in front of, or prospect, if I've talked to you, I've probably talked to you about this, and it's called frequency. Frequency is the number of times that you have to be in front of somebody before they're willing to recognize that you exist. We'll take an action, if it's online, maybe purchase something or become a lead, if you will, or just say, I know you've been after me 6 times, I'm ready to sit down and talk to you a little bit further. It's called frequency. A lot of companies drop the ball in the middle of this cycle. They think, I haven't gotten any results, it's not going to happen, I stopped doing it, especially the smaller companies, because they don't have big budgets and they're worried about it. Not now does not necessarily mean no. They could have put $1,000 into their car yesterday. They might have found out their daughter's getting married. They got to save for a wedding. They might have lost a big sale at the company and they think they're going to get a budget cut. It does not necessarily mean that just because they didn't act today or set that appointment or respond to you, that it won't be coming to an eventual appointment or an eventual purchase. And because of budgets, we say, well, I've sent it out 2 times, I've hit them with direct mail, or I've made a phone call and I got an email and I haven't received anything yet, or they haven't responded, that I'm just going to axe them off and drop them out of the rotation or the list. That's not necessarily true. You want to make sure you hit that key frequency of 5 to 7 or 6 to 8 or 9, depending on what you're after, because that'll maximize your results, and it'll take those marketing dollars that you spent 1 or 2 or 3 times that didn't work or failed and maximize those dollars by the time you get to 5, 6, and 7. Email marketing, for instance, is a good way for you to stay in front of folks at low cost. You don't have the printing and the postage costs of direct mail. There should be a component in the right mix for your company as far as how you get them between online, email, direct mail, print advertising, a billboard on the highway, that type of stuff. It's still the right mix, but just make sure that you're getting to them as many times as you need to maximize the dollars you are spending and generate the results that you're after. All right, well, that does it for this first video edition of the eMedia eNews. We chose video, like I said, it's a little progressive, creates that community feel, some of the things that go with the web development you heard from Craig and Paul. You can even add meta tags to videos and drive people to your website just from tags on videos such as this. And of course, if you're interested in doing something like this, we can certainly help you with that. Our friends over at DVS and Corey here would be glad to set up a shoot, and we can help you come up with your messaging and your content and your strategy and bring the internet, if you will, put a face to it and make it live for you as well. So coming up, we're in future editions, we will have some guest speakers, some subject matter experts to be introduced. We're still lining up those for the next 3 or 4 newsletters. We're kind of hesitating and pulling back on that a little bit just because we want your feedback. We want to know what you guys want to hear discussed, what you'd like to see, because we'll bring people in to make sure that those topics can get discussed, because it has to add value to you. That's what this is all about. Feedback, marketing at emediasolutions.us. Send us your comments, things you'd like to see or hear, or questions. I'd love to get them in the next edition. I appreciate your time, appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to the next one, which we hope to do after the holidays in January.